Welcome to the Real Table Talk. I am Tiana Von Johnson.
And I am Dr. Alicia.
And remember, if it matters in love, life, and relationships,
we are talking about it.
Yes, and on this episode, we're talking about closure without explanation and the trauma of that. So let's unpack. You ready, Doc?
I'm ready.
All right, good stuff. So why you don't always get closure and how to heal anyway. Let me tell you something. Closure has been something that has gripped me. In a lot of ways, because we are always looking for answers. Without answers, I feel it's hard to move on. It's hard to process. You almost just want to just come to terms with something, and you just want clarity. I do believe, though, closure happens with healthy people. I believe that most unhealthy people will leave you with no closure. Now, I'm not talking about something like death. Death is like, it's over. It's like, that's it. You deal with that. But I think, too, even dealing with something as harsh as death, especially multiple times, people don't know. I've lost my son's father. He was murdered.
Oh, boy.
I lost my mother. 6 months later, lost her mother, my grandmother. I've lost people in my life. And that type of non-closure is like a shock to your heart. And it definitely impacts your nervous system. It's trauma. There's PTSD from that too. But I've gotten to a place in my life where I have learned that I can heal free of the closure without having someone come in and provide that. What do you think?
Most healing is done without closure.
Ooh, it's hard.
Death is a physical ending without the closure. But all endings of relationships, and every single relationship that you're ever going to be involved in, it will end. And all of them will end without the proper type of closure, where everything is buttoned up nicely like a good movie at the end. Ooh. Don't you feel upset? You're watching a movie and you're like, wait, we didn't just understand what happened. Things aren't buttoned up, but that's life. Things are not buttoned up completely, and you have to have the discipline. Don't you call that man and you know that relationship is over, seeking closure. Put the phone down. It's going to take discipline to be able to end a relationship completely.
But you just said something. You said put that phone down.
Put the phone down.
I'm not, what the closure that I think most women struggle with is stuff that's in their face. His actions, that's the closure. His disrespect, that's the closure.
I like that.
That's the closure.
I like that.
But the problem is that we are still, even with the disrespect, we are still wanting answers. But why did you treat me this bad? But why did you hurt me? But why did you cheat on me? The cheating is the closure. I got my answer. That's hard for women to process.
Yeah, because we want to know why. Why are you doing this? What? I was good to you. It doesn't make sense in our brain. Sometimes we're thinking, okay, this person betrayed me, but I was loyal to them.
Yeah.
I was honest with them, and I didn't get that back in return. Why?
Yeah.
So you start asking these questions, why, and you're seeking clarity from the person who is never, ever going to give it to you. So accepting that. I love that, what you said.
And I think the closure does come from self-trust, but if you don't have that self-trust, it's going to be difficult for you not to seek the closure. And that goes back to what I was saying about inner seeking. I'm telling you, that's why that's my dissertation. That's my research, because I think a lot of it does stem back to that. Because if you are not doing the work, your discernment is not turned on good. Your insight, the way your soul speaks to you is not turned on, is not fully activated. So now we're finding ourselves seeking the answers and the validation from other people. And we, as women, especially men too, but we have to get away from that.
Yeah, and you have to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If sometimes when relationships end and that person leaves you, you're stunned by that.
Yeah.
You're like, would've, could've, should've. If I could rewind time and do things differently, then the outcome would be different. But sometimes it's the natural course of life, and you need to just embrace it as it is. Say, everything that happened in the past needed to happen because I am on this journey. And although this relationship is over and this person left me, that does not mean that I am not lovable. And you know what? It doesn't mean that that person who left you is incapable of loving someone else.
Yeah, we don't like to hear that.
They're capable of loving someone. Even though they weren't able to love you, that does not mean you are not lovable. It just didn't work out.
I don't know, man. I don't know about them being capable to love somebody else.
I have hope.
Yeah, you do have a lot of hope.
The thing is that what's the point of being a therapist if I don't feel like somebody's doomed?
I agree with you.
I always have hope that somebody can change. And I was listening to Dr. Frazier, who was talking about you got to love them and release them. Bless them and release.
I love that.
Bless and release. He used to say that, but I mean, it is a beautiful little snippet of a big picture that means, yeah, it just didn't work. I still love them and I wish them well, but it just didn't work out for us.
Yeah. Also, releasing the need to be chosen or explained to. Funny, we talked about this the other night in our mixer, and a woman challenged me on, I was talking about being chosen by men. And I was coming from the place of a man actually coming to you and choosing you as his queen, his wife. And for me, there's something about that choosing that does sit well with me. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't come from an unhealed place.
No.
But I
think it's fine.
Okay, because she was like, no, choose yourself. No man has to choose you.
I agree. Okay. Oh, God. I agree you need to choose yourself.
True.
But let a man choose you. I hate to say that as a therapist.
I know, that's what, no, it sounds.
Let a man choose you. Now, okay, when I was dating, if I saw a guy that I was interested in, I would give him the eye. I would kind of flirt with him from across the room, but I bet you bottom dollar, I'm not walking over there to talk to him. If he's interested in me, he's got to come walk across the room and talk to me. When I was dating and my brother, I was mentioning something to my brother about this guy in this car that wanted to talk to me. He stopped me in mid-sentence, my brother. He said, don't walk over to a guy in a car. He said, if he wants to speak to you, you call him over. He has to get out of the car, park the car, get out of the car, and walk over to you. So I think there's a level of self-respect that we need to have in the dating process. Don't be begging some man to be with you. If he wants to be, according to my mother, therapist my mother is, she said, a man's testosterone will not allow him to stay away from you. If he's interested in you, he will come after you and get you. Just wait. And I used to talk to my mom about boys and men, and she was like, don't call him. She said, if he's interested in you, his testosterone will have him pick up the phone and dial you and call you. Yeah, no, that's definitely interesting. I just looked up something. It says waiting for an apology can become self-abandonment. And it's funny because I was saying that when we unpacked my mother wound and me looking for that apology from her. I think that sometimes for us, the apology is the closure. You just want to hear someone say, let me tell you something. There is power in I'm sorry. And I talked about that in my book, 7 Laws of Entrepreneurial Success, The Millionaire Mind Manifesto, which, by the way, this episode is sponsored by. But I definitely want to really unpack that from a standpoint that you do not have to wait for that apology. Especially if someone is dark, someone has, I'm not going to place the labels, but they are not apologizing. And you will sit in that for life, hoping upon hope that you get that. Yes. For years, women sit in it sometimes. Yes. You have to be able to forgive, given the fact that the person that did you wrong did not even ask for it.
Ooh.
And never will ask for it. You have to be willing to forgive, because you know what forgiveness is about? It's about you, not the other person. And when you have forgiven that person, the best way to get back at somebody, I know I hate to say this, but it's living a life well lived.
Ooh.
Being great, being wonderful in your own self. That is how you show forgiveness. And that's really how you get back at somebody, not by attacking them, not by going after them, not by evening the score. You really just absorb it, focus on yourself, and a life well lived, that's enough.
Yeah. So just some takeaways for that.
Yes.
I feel closure is clarity you give yourself. Yes. The answer is in the pattern, not the explanation.
Yes.
We have to pay attention to the pattern. The pattern gives us everything we need to know. Yes. You take the pattern and there it is. A lot of women don't sit with that.
Like Maya Angelou and Oprah Winfrey used to say, if someone tells you who they are, believe them. I love those interactions between the two of those beautiful women.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, no, they're already telling you.
Yeah.
Why do you want it to be repeated over and over again? What are you hoping? You're hoping for a different outcome? They've already told you who they are. Just believe them and just move on with your life. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be miserable.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a strong believer that not everything broken needs to be fixed. Period.
Yeah.
Some things just need to be finished. Yeah. And you have to really stop and look at that. And that's where our self-worth comes into play. Yes. That's where our boundaries come into play. And we have to implement those things that say, I am worthy. Yeah. No matter what you did to me, I am worthy. I'm still going to push forward no matter what. Yeah. And this is probably something that's broken that does not need to be fixed.
I really do think you got to rewrite your story.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, when things happen to you that was painful and hurtful, write the story twice. Write your story one way where all hell broke loose, you were broken, sad, all the other thing. Take that story and then get another piece of paper, rewrite that story where you are the hero. Where you're like, you know what, that was a terrible thing that happened to me, and I am better now for it because of this reason. I have learned my lesson, and I dare not repeat it. So you are the hero in your own story, and that's how you heal from a lot of things. That's how you forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for making the bad choice and learn how to trust yourself.
Self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, with all the decisions that I've made in my life, especially when it comes to dealing with men, I truly can say, that's why it's so easy for me to own it and say, I was operating from a little girl. I was operating from brokenness. I was operating from a dark, desperate place. But I think when you can get real about that and own it and say it, it takes the blow off of it, because that's bad. Like, everything I just named was really bad, but I could say it so freely because what's my other choice? Lying to myself, not being true to myself. How can I help another woman if I'm not real enough to say, no, I was broken and I will allow that broken person into my life? Yeah. Let me tell you something. I live in a mansion, and by the grace of God, and I moved, this is so horrible, but I moved this man into my beautiful home that I built, paid for, furnished, decorated. You would think that he would be appreciative.
Oh no.
You would think that he would treat things great. And when I tell you the way he tore that house up, not just physically, just the dark energy that he brought in. You know, I told my girlfriend the other day on the phone, because she's dealing with something. I said, girl, go bust open some lemons. Put them all around. You got to do the work and we need to talk about that.
Feng shui?
Oh, I don't play
100% feng shui.
Oh, see, that's another thing you start talking about.
I feng shui my whole house.
People start talking about.
Everything in my house has a feng shui spot.
No, seriously, but you start talking about feng shui, you're a witch. You're a demon. Don't do that. No, clean out your house.
Feng shui messed up.
Especially if you have a person that live with you, you need to clean out that house.
Throw some salt in the corners.
I do that too.
It absorbs all
it does.
Yeah.
I take lemon, I crack it open, I put salt, I put it around, and you'll start to see if that lemon starts to get moldy and dark and black, it is absorbing all those toxins. Do that work. Yeah. Cleanse. Stop having men in your bed. And trust me, girl, listen, listen, I've had my share. I'm not gonna say fair share, because y'all know I'm abstinent, but I've had a couple little jokers and lay down with me, not go in me, but lay down in my bed. Even that, like, people don't deserve to be in your bed. Like, real talk. Like, you haven't even had real conversations with people or men yet, and then somehow they end up in your bed. Like, we do have to place boundaries around our space.
We do.
I even have a new rule in dating. Like, I need to have 10 meaningful conversations with you before I would even go sit with you for coffee.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, like, I'm not even, because I want to see if I even want to sit with you for coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, my goal right now is I've gotten to the point where anybody that comes into my home, my intention is that they leave my house feeling better than when they came in. So I pay attention to trying to be, to the best of my ability, as hospitable, as accepting, as accommodating to somebody who comes into my home. I want my home to be a magical place for everybody. Now, that's my intention that I set with my feng shui.
You have such a beautiful spirit.
I try.
No, you really do. I'm sure you have your little saucy side.
We'll see if it comes out.
But I think the heart of it all is to your point.
Yeah.
You know, we do try to be good, and I love the work that you're doing just for yourself. Yeah. To know that you have a therapist that's doing that self-work is critical.
Yeah.
You know, because it doesn't, you know, healing is not linear, right? So we're healing and we're on this journey, and even the therapists are healing, right? And so people come in with, they say they're not biased, but they have a little bit of bias, you know, coming in. And so we do have to recognize that. But I tell you, boy, oh boy, the heart of this message was about closure. And I tell you, closure is what you see. Closure is not necessarily always what you hear from the person who hurt you, who tore you down, who damaged you. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Char so she can say what she wants. All right, so this portion of the programming is sponsored by my book, The 7 Laws of Entrepreneurial Success, The Millionaire Mind Manifesto. It's such a great read. Pick it up on Amazon. And I'm just excited. I mean, this episode was definitely something that was needed when we're talking about closure. But, you know, we have more episodes to come. So just always know if it matters in love, life, and relationships,
we are talking about it.
we definitely are. Peace.